Hello and welcome to a free tutorial by Nicola from the Flock. In this tutorial I am going to be showing you how to make a snowman bauble. I am happy for you to make items from this tutorial for personal use or to sell. All I ask is, if you share what you have made, that you add a note to say that you made it from a free tutorial from the Flock and add a link to the Flock's Facebook group. Please also be aware that the tutorial and its content is protected by copyright and must not be copied or shared without prior permission. Thank you. Let's get started. To make your own snowman bauble, you will need your needle felting surface, your needle felting needles. You will need a shaping needle. I like to use a 38 gauge triangular needle for this, and a finishing needle. I like to use a 42 gauge needle for this. You will also need your finger protectors if you want to use them. I will not be using finger protectors in this tutorial so that you can clearly see what I am doing, but I advise that you wear yours. You will also need some white fibre. I am going to be using this carded mix of natural fibre and stellina, so as you can see it has a bit of sparkle mixed through it. Alternatively, you could just use a white fibre on its own, or mix some Angelina fibre like this into your chosen white fibre. For more information on how to mix fibres, please see my other video on blending colours and fibres. You will also need some orange fibre and some black fibre. You will also need some strong thread, some decorative thread, and a long sewing needle with a large enough eye for your decorative thread, a cocktail stick, and some scissors. First, you need to make 3 different sized balls for the body of the snowman. Each ball needs to be slightly larger in size than the previous one. If you do not know how to make a needle felted ball, please watch my video called How to Make a Needle Felted Ball 3 Different Ways. Continue until you have 3 different sized balls that are symmetrical and firmly felted. Once you have made 3 balls that increase in size, it is time to refine and smooth the surface. To do this, you need to swap to your finishing needle and then stab all over the surface to tuck in any loose ends. This will also smooth and firm the balls up further. Continue until you have refined the surface of all 3 balls. Now that you have refined all of the balls, it is time to string them together to form the snowman's body. You will need your strong thread, your decorative thread, your long sewing needle and your scissors. First, you need to thread your needle with your strong thread. Then insert it in the centre and straight through the largest ball, leaving a long tail. Then push the needle through the middle-sized ball and then through the smallest ball. They should now look like this, with the string running through the centre of each ball. Next, insert the needle back into the smallest ball just across from where you came out and push it through the ball. Leaving a loop. Then push the needle back through the middle-sized ball. And finally, push the needle through the largest ball, exiting just across from where you first went in. Then, without pulling the threads tight, carefully pull your needle off of the thread and insert it in the loop made at the top of the smallest ball. This will stop us losing the loop. Then carefully pull on the tails until all of the balls are sitting snugly against one another. Then tie the tails in some tight knots. Trim off the excess thread. Pull on the needle quite hard to sink the knot into the felt. Remove the needle and re-thread it with your decorative thread. Push your needle through the loop and pull the decorative thread through it. Tie the decorative thread in a loop with a knot. Trim off the excess thread. If you can still see the knot of your strong thread, you can use a small piece of fibre to cover this by stabbing it in place. Your snowman should now look like this. It is now time to add the eyes, nose and buttons to your snowman. First, let's add the buttons and the eyes for the snowman. For this, you will need your black fibre. To make the buttons, pull off a small amount of black fibre and fold and roll this into a ball. Then pull off 2 more similar sized pieces and do the same again. Then pull off 2 much smaller pieces for the eyes and roll both of these into a ball. Then position your first button on the upper half of the central ball of the snowman's body and stab this in place, gently guiding the fibre so that it forms a circle. Repeat this with the second button just below the first. Finally, add the third button to the upper half of the largest ball of the snowman's body. Next, add the snowman's eyes just above the central point of the snowman's head. Felt these in place in the same way as you did the buttons, trying really hard to keep them the same size. It is now time to make the carrot nose for the snowman. To do this, you will need your cocktail stick and your orange fibre. Take a small piece of orange fibre and wrap this tightly around the tip of the cocktail stick so that the end furthest from the point is thicker and the pointed end is thinner. Then, very carefully, stab along the edge, being careful not to hit the cocktail stick with your needle. You just need to stab it enough to stop it unravelling. Once it is secure, you can carefully remove the fibre from the cocktail stick. It can also help the felting process to roll the piece between the palms of your hands. Then, using your shaping needle, stab along the piece to felt it into a little tapered carrot shape. stab the opposite end of the point inwards so that it forms a shape similar to the base of a cylinder. Once you are happy with the shape, place the carrot nose centrally between the eyes of the snowman and stab all around the edge, pushing the orange fibre into the ball to secure it in place. Your snowman should now look like this. Next, you need to add a little cheeky, smiling mouth. To do this, take a wisp of black fibre and twist this between your fingers. Place this on the face and start stabbing in line with the nose, leaving an overhanging section up towards the eyes. Guide the fibre in a curved line under the nose, stabbing in place as you go. Then, with the little bit you left over hanging, shape and stab this in place so that it makes a little line horizontally to the curved line, so it forms almost a curved capital letter T. Your finished snowman should now look like this. To ensure you do not miss future informational videos or tutorials, please subscribe to my channel. You can also come and join the Flock's needle felting community on Facebook. There is a link to this in the description. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. As explained at the beginning, I am happy for you to make items from this tutorial for personal use or to sell. All I ask is, if you share what you have made, that you add a note to say that you made it from a free tutorial from the Flock, and add a link to the Flock's Facebook group. Please also be aware that the tutorial and its content is protected by copyright and must not be copied or shared without prior permission. Thank you.